headquarters to say, we do have evidence.
Yes.
But please don't rush us. Someday we will give you the evidence. No, hold on. I'm one of the people who, since 1994, have been waiting for President Zuma to tell us who were the spies of the apartheid regime during the struggle. Up to now, 30 years down the line, he has not provided any of the names of who the spies were. When he attempted to do so by accusing Derek Hennegom that he was a spy, he ended up paying a massive fine and being sued. And he didn't defend that. So in order to say, look, I was in the intelligence, you were.
Zwelinzima Vavi, trade unionist champion, trade unionist extraordinaire. So this man has been in the space of trade unionism for a long time. I think since the dawn of this democracy has been leading that, and is still doing it. So for the young ones who don't remember who Zwelinzima Vavi was, so Zwelinzima Vavi was the COSATU of old. So he took over COSATU, and during the Thabo Mbeki era, when unity between the tripartite alliance was as strong. But what Zwelinzima Vavi has done is he, including Bleeding Nzimande and Julius Malema at the time, were central in making Jacob Zuma what he was when Mbeki rejected him and he went to Polokwane. I'm now speaking this under correction, and of course there's a disclaimer that all of these are alleged, especially the private life. So there was a fall off within COSATU because of who Jacob Zuma was. Willie Madisha chose the camp of Thabo Mbeki, and a strong and vibrant Zwelinzima Vavi supported Jacob Zuma, and they split, and they ejected Madisha. But what Madisha has done during that time is he exposed a lot of wrongdoing that were done by Zwelinzima Vavi. Amongst them is the allegation that in when Manchester United came and they went to Durban, they played there. There was a gentleman who was also a trade unionist, who this gentleman was Vavi's comrade, and Vavi's alleged to have dated his wife, and rumor says she then became his current wife now. So he took her from him, and there was a big city press story about that, where Madisha said it was at Elangeni. I remember it was a city press, a big story. They said there, he said the two men, he asked the two men, are you both armed? And they said yes, they were armed. And they declared their weapons, and they said, and they had a meeting. And so it's a long story, but I don't want to cut you. I just want to show you what Vavi, his past was. And what eventually happened was the estranged husband started suing. He went to newspapers and he asked comrades to intervene, but it didn't happen. But what was central around that time is they were saying Vavi was going all around the country campaigning for Jacob Zuma and using COSATU credit card to go with this fellow comrade, the lady. He was going all over. He was trailblazing the country, doing that in this campaign trail. Those were the allegations. And when Madisha, because he was the president at the time, when Vavi was the general secretary, when that happened, it exposed those financial misdemeanors of Zwelinzima Vavi, and they checked him out because he had a following inside COSATU. But that's just Zwelinzima Vavi. But eventually, when the stories came, Vavi was accused of baiting. But baiting is, I don't know, but let me just put it, you'll see the stories. Zwelinzima Vavi he successfully defended himself against allegations of a penty fiddling with a woman. This woman, they later, it's a big story, but Zwelinzima Vavi survived that. What made him survive was the fact that he had he had the receipts on WhatsApp of what had actually happened. But even though he survived the allegations, he was eventually chucked out. And when he was chucked out, what happened was there were other allegations as well that he went through, but he survived. I don't think he survived the other one. But by the time that happened, he already fell out of favor with COSATU, and he went on to form SAFTU. The reason I'm stating all of this is just so you see the man that Vavi was and his relationship with controversy, and he survived all of those things because of the big man that he was. He's still in trade unionism. He's still leading SAFTU, and he came out very, very strong against Jacob Zuma. And people are saying the reason he hates Jacob Zuma is around that time when he was campaigning for Jacob Zuma, there was a time where they fell off. The reason they fell off was Vavi didn't approve of the 100% Zulu boy. Immediately after Polokwane, when they were going to Polokwane, they were campaigning against on the slogan of Jacob Zuma being Zulu. They were wearing 100% Zulu boy. And immediately after Polokwane, Jacob Zuma, Vavi came out to say, this is wrong. This must not be done. Let's not use politics of personalities. Let us use ideologies and like your RETs and stuff. But it didn't fall into right ears. People started not wanting Vavi. And Zwelinzima, on the other hand, he emerged because he did not draw those lines. But those are allegations, of course. Zwelinzima went from SACP to successfully go into a ministry in government for a long time, and he's still there because he knew how to toe the line. Vavi did not, and they said the reason he was bitter is because he did not get ministerial position that he was hoping for when Kgalema and subsequently Jacob Zuma came in. So Kgalema was called a caretaker president by the time because he was holding fort for Jacob Zuma to come in. But this is the story. I'm just trying to paint why Zuma and this man don't like each other. Well, maybe they like each other. Vavi just doesn't like him. You can see why Vavi would be aggrieved, because he worked so hard for Jacob Zuma, but he didn't get what he was planning for. But of course, if you ask him, he will say, I was doing it for politics. I was not doing it to get something. But he didn't get anything. He didn't get anything, and he's still bitter. And people are saying he's still bitter because he did not get all the things that he wanted. But who is Zwelinzima Vavi? I want us to talk about who is Zwelinzima Vavi in the big scheme of things, and why is he so negative against MK? Those who know, please explain to us, why do you think he hates MK? Or does he even hate MK? Maybe he doesn't hate MK. I've never heard him speak anything great about MK. Among the things he spoke about MK, he said Zuma threatened to bring out receipts. He didn't. He said since the early 90s when they knew him, Jacob Zuma has always promised to spill beans on the ANC. Amongst other issues would be who killed Chris Hani, who are the people who were conniving behind his back, and to paint him as a bad person. Julius Malema also said that, by the way, to say they believed Jacob Zuma's conspiracy theories about people wanting to take him down, but none of that had materialized. So Vavi, Blade, and Julius Malema were behind this big campaign in Polokwane, 2007, to launch it's a fight back, a Jacob Zuma fight back against Mbeki, and it catapulted him into a big space in politics, and he took the presidency from there. So he did not benefit from it. Otherwise, he fell since that Malema and Zwelinzima, their political career went up and Vavi didn't. So this is why I'm assuming there's a link there. You tell me what is happening. And among the things that he said, you tell me. Let me just stop it here so you listen to the thing that he said, and let's discuss why is Vavi so against the MK party. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcian Political Incorrect, please just support me by liking the video, share it, and most importantly, just subscribe for you to have given the time to this stage. I know you will disagree with me, and I always tell you, you'll always disagree with me. But if there are chances where you agree with me, just give me props and say you agree with me. Marcian Political Incorrect. Thank you.
Everybody is voting in public. Everybody exercise the right to choose the leaders in privacy, and that these processes get observed by observers and who satisfy if the elections were free and fair. Perhaps this is a statement that there was no election in the MK that produced the current leadership. There is no structures, there's no constitution, there's absolutely nothing. It's all about following our brother leader. It's a cult organization, fairly, and but which now wants to impose those type of loose rules, no constitution on the rest of the country, that we must now follow a system where there will be no rules. We say no to that, and we object to an attempt to delegitimize a very legitimate, transparent process in which all parties were allowed to participate.
Yeah.
And we say no to the threats of plunging our country to violence and to replay the July 2021 utter mayhem that led to more than 330 black, poor, working class people dying in the streets, and with thousands and thousands of workers losing their jobs as a result of the massive destruction of trucks, burning trucks, and destroying the infrastructure. We can't go back.
So do you think, even if they were to be given that hearing, because they say, well, at least hear us, let us make the complaints, don't block us from making the complaints, it would not make any material difference to them?
No, but the all parties were called upon by Friday. It's now Sunday.
Yeah.
They were asked by Friday, if you have any kind of evidence that there was some rigging or there were some glitches that will undermine the voice of the people through these elections, come forward with evidence, put it on the table so that we can engage with that. They don't. Instead, on the eve of the IEC announcing the elections, President Zuma and other people go to the IEC headquarters to say, we do have evidence.
Yes.
But please don't rush us. Someday we will give you the evidence. No, hold on. I'm one of the people who, since 1994, have been waiting for President Zuma to tell us who were the spies of the apartheid regime during the struggle. Up to now, 30 years down the line, he has not provided any of the names of who the spies were. When he attempted to do so by accusing Derek Hannegom that he was a spy, he ended up paying a massive fine and being sued. And he didn't defend that. So in order to say, look, I was in the intelligence, you were a spy, he paid. And we can't be taken for a ride by one person over and over and over again. Yeah. No, provide evidence. If you have evidence that there was rigging, put it on the table. The IEC gave you a chance to do so on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're not providing it.
A quick one.
But you want us to agree that we must postpone the announcement of the results? No, we can't agree to that. Our call to them, please, guys, man, please take the population of this country seriously.
Yeah.
Don't deliberately delegitimize this process so that they can fit into your clearly well-thought strategy to delegitimize it in order to provoke violence in the streets of South Africa. Please, your children and your families are not going to be impacted upon by mayhem. We know that it is going to be the ordinary people that will end up dying in the streets once you leave behind your well-secured family homes.